What is up, everyone? Today I want to showcase a solid squad with Magnezone in the Open Great League. I found this team in a tweet from Zwilus who had a very good day with it, so I decided I tried it out for myself and I had a pretty good day too. I went 19-6 and honestly could have been even better if I played a little more on point. Anyway, we're gonna get right into these battles, starting with an Azumarill lead, which is very solid, but then I switched into Steelix. I didn't know what to do for a second, but I went into Pelipper, which honestly I think is a mistake. Steelix can force switch no matter what Pokemon I switch in, and if I lose switch, I'd rather have my Magnezone and Pelipper alive than my Sableye, because both Magnezone and Pelipper do fine versus Azu, so then I don't mind which is aligned versus it, but with the way I played it now, I'm gonna end up having Sableye aligned versus Azumarill, which is not ideal, especially if I end up losing this matchup without even taking a shield. Luckily though, this Breaking Swipe does not take out Pelipper, and I get to the final Weather Ball at basically 1 HP. I'm running a very high ranked Pelipper, very high bulk, and it definitely came in clutch here. So if you're running Pelipper in the squad, that's probably the way to go, because then you have a little more play versus opposing Steelix, which would otherwise be very tough for this team. Anyway, now that I'm shield up, Sableye actually has a lot of play versus Azu. Still only gonna stay in though, as I was debuffed. So I switch to the Magnezone, I bring in Sableye, which I'm very happy to see, because Sableye definitely isn't a good answer to Magnezone. I'm gonna get to my first wild charge here, take a shield, throw a second. I'm not Shadow, but Magnezone has very high attack. Wild charge is a very good move. So one shots, in comes Sableye, they know it's over, so they concede the match. GG's. Diggersby lead, very, very bad. I switch into Pelipper, now comes Alolan Ninetales. This smells like double Charmer, which would be awful. If they take switch here, my Sableye will be aligned to the back, to the Charmer in the back, and my Magnezone to the Diggersby would just be game over. Even if I take switch here, it will be tough, because Diggersby beats Sableye as well as Magnezone. So this is not looking great. I go for the Hurricane here at the last second, hoping they no shield, and they do no shield. Maybe thinking it was a Weather Ball, but no, it was a Hurricane. Knocks him out. Now I've taken switch, but like I said, it's not quite over. Actually bringing Diggersby here, which is interesting. I actually over farm by one, because I want them to throw the Scorching Sand into me on CMP, which does happen. Now I've taken a lot of health from this Diggersby, and all their energy with my Pelipper, and that can set up my Sableye to take out this Diggersby now. They're gonna go for another Scorching Sands right here. I didn't throw my Foul Play because I kind of want to go for the return, as that will be enough. If I don't get the buff there, I don't get the buff. That's nice. They switched to Wigglytuff though before I can throw my return. This is fine though. Man, my Magnezone is taking so much damage from these charms, so it's kind of worrying. They only had 8 charms, so this is just a disarming force. I'm gonna no shield it. Wait 2 turns before throwing my wild charge, because then the charm damage registers before I debuff myself with this wild charge, and that allows me to get to the second wild charge to knock out this Wigglytuff, hopefully. It does knock out. In comes Diggersby, they only get 1 mutual to farm. Because I thought the return would knock out there, I go for it, but unfortunately, I was wrong. It doesn't knock out, which means I should have definitely thrown double Foul Play, but luckily it doesn't end up mattering, and I farm down the Diggersby with Shadow Claws. GG's. Next game, we have a Mantine lead, very good, but they bring in Steelix again, and this time I do go Sableye, which I said in the last time we had a Steelix switch, I should go Sableye because it was Azumarill lead. This time, I think Sableye switch might have been a mistake, because both Pelipper and Sableye honestly do not do that great versus Mantine. And we saw how okay Pelipper did versus Steelix last game. I was actually able to take a shield. So honestly, this case, I should have brought in Pelipper. So yeah, Sableye is just gonna go down now without even taking a shield. So I definitely made a mistake there. Bring in Pelipper now. Just gonna take these Breaking Swipes and hopefully fully farm down the Mantine. I just gotta hope it's like another Sableye in the back right now, and the Magnezone can sweep. But it's honestly not looking too good, because my Pelipper is already very low. Magnezone is a very good Pokemon, but when 2 shields are up, most Pokemon can farm it down, especially Diggersby. So I just concede the match right there, as it was over. Anyway, next match, we got Alolan Sandslash in the lead. If they go straight for the drill run here, we can win the 1 shield scenario, as we then outpace to double wild charge. But since they baited there, I have to go for the bait myself and I do get it. This means I outpace, even though they baited, to the wild charge. This will knock out Alolan Sandslash, I'm pretty sure, or bring it very low so they shoot it up. I want to save my Magnezone for later, so I switch it to Sableye now. They switch into their Gligar after getting a bunch more energy on their A-Slash. I'm just going to let this move go. It's just an aerial ace. I only threw 5 wing attacks, which is exactly aerial ace. It's 7 for dig. Then I go for the return. Apparently 10 Shadow Claws per return always knock out Shadow Gligar, so I can farm down before they get to another aerial ace. Now I have a foul play stored, which I'm just going to throw immediately, no matter what comes in. It's not like I can switch out and save the foul play for later, because my switch timer isn't up, and I'm going to get farmed now by most Pokemon. So just throwing the foul play right away is the right play, and then they have a Medicham in the back, and they concede, knowing that I probably have another counter in the back, which I do. Okay, next game, we have Registeel lead. Shields up, pretty good matchup for Magnezone here, so Volt Switches and a Wild Charge is going to really add up. I slightly outpaced the Registeel. Focus Blast would one-shot me. So, obviously, I shield here. I'm gonna go for another Wild Charge after over-farming a bit. Throw right before the next Focus. This takes another shield. That's fine with me. I'm just gonna shield their Focus, farm them all the way down. But they let it go. Now they're bringing Medi. Kind of was expecting that, and I switched to Pelipper. Normally, I would not recommend you ever switch into Pelipper in this line, because if there's a Lantern in the back, you're in big trouble. You're gonna get fully farmed down. So I think Sableye is a better switch. But since we had just taken out a Registeel, I'm not expecting a Lantern or another like hard Pelipper answer in the back. So that's why I felt safe switching in Pelipper into the Medicham now. Take out the Medicham, out comes Charizard, but because of the defense drop on that Psychic earlier, unfortunately it farms me down. Magnezone still, I'm gonna go for the Mirror Shot. This is honestly a mistake. I have 2 shields. I was hoping to drop their attack, but honestly a mistake, because I can just Volt Switch down here. Look at that damage. This is where Volt Switch is nicer than the old Spark. It just does so much fast with pressure. They would have gone to the Blast Burn there, I think, so I just catch it on Sableye, because... you know, I don't know why I did this. It wasn't necessary. But Sableye does something this game too. GG's. Ooh, Medicham lead pretty bad. I pivot into Sableye and I don't have a great response with the Alolan Sandslash. This is a pretty even matchup. So if I can flip switch here, it would be pretty nice. Even if I don't flip switch, it would be okay too. Because then I can probably farm now with Magnezone. And Magnezone with a little bit of energy is still very dangerous versus the Medicham. So I'm just going to let that Duron go. Go for the next foul play on the CMP tie with this Ice Punch. And I see they're deep into the red. And I think I can farm them down before they get to the next Ice Punch. 1 Shadow Claw, 2, 3, 4. Farm them down right before they get to the next move. What do they bring in? They bring in the Dugong, which is a Water Ice. Generally, that's good for Magnezone, but Dugong has Drill Run to one-shot Magnezone, so it's not too good. They already got 2 Icy Winds, so only 3 more for the next, for the Drill Run. So I would have gotten outpaced. The switch to Medicham. I stayed in there with Magnezone to farm up to a Wild Charge, because I know I win CMP versus Dugong. And it's not like that extra counter damage is gonna matter, since Drill Run one-shots anyway. So what I'm hoping to do here is knock out this Medicham, throw a Hurricane onto Dugong to take the shield, and then Wild Charge to knock out the Dugong, because I win CMP. So that's why I farmed up to the Wild Charge there, as I know I win CMP, and I felt like otherwise the Dugong would just Drill Run me. Unfortunately, I overestimated how much damage the Hurricane would do though, and it doesn't even knock out the Dugong. So they had no reason to shield, and they can Drill Run me here. This is one of those games I definitely could have played a little better. I think I should have just switched Pelipper into Medicham immediately, because then I wouldn't have had to use a shield in that matchup, and I would have had my Magnezone with shields up versus the Dugong. So definitely a misplay there. Next game, we have Skuntank into my Magnezone. Very good. I have no reason to bait here. Double Wild Charge, I will outpace to double Crunch. So I bait, expecting a definite shield. But yeah, they don't shield. That was honestly just a big mistake by me. And now I'm in a pretty bad spot, because they're not just going to get to 1 Crunch. They're going to get to 2. Yeah, that's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. Just lesson learned. Whenever you don't have to bait, don't bait. Yeah, the reason I baited there is exactly because I didn't have to bait, so thought my opponent would realize that makes no sense for me to bait, so I would shield, but yeah, my opponent thought otherwise. Anyway, they're bringing Venusaur, which is not great. I bait again though, and this time it does work. Anyway, then I switch into Pelipper, as I thought there was going to be another Pokemon weak to Magnezone in the back, and I wanted to lure that out. And there's Menabus, which I can use my Magnezone on later. They have Dark Pulse, which is actually good for me, because 2 Foul Plays would knock out anyway, and Dark Pulse is more expensive, so that works out for me. I'm going to throw my Weather Ball here, because this will put the Menabus very low. It's actually going to overfarm a ton, which is kind of scary. If they can take out my Pelipper here and get to a Dark Pulse versus my Magnezone, this is not ideal, because then the Venusaur doesn't have to throw energy into my Magnezone. But since I farmed down, I'm actually in a good spot. This Venusaur now has to throw energy at my Magnezone, and it doesn't have much left to throw to Sableye. Since it's just a regular Venusaur, 1 Frenzy doesn't knock out, and I need 2. As long as I can farm down before I get to 2, I should be in good shape. 1 comes out now, but the Shadow Claw already came through. So even if they have double, Shadow Claw will knock out, and I win this final game. GG's. As you can see, Magnezone is a very clunky Pokemon and quite squishy. These 2 factors I think will keep it from being top meta, but if you can play around these factors, I think you have a lot of fun with this Pokemon. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Good luck with your battle stringers.